Let's get this started. I was excited to see the list of speakers and go over the topics with everybody. But before we bring people up, I wanted to talk about something, and it's something that you hear about a lot of times when you listen to really famous podcasters, when you listen to famous athletes. One of the things that Joe Rogan talks about this a lot of times with his guests. If you watch the little clips, no one has 3 hours a day to hear everything that he does, or else you have nothing else to do. But you hear a little 8-minute clip, 10-minute clip, and he's interviewing all these amazing people in the world in every aspect of life. And once in a while, it comes down to talking about social media, and they'll talk about when anytime the guest references the comments that they are getting on social media, he immediately goes off on them and says, dude, you cannot read the comments. Like, what are you doing? Never read the comments. That is his advice, to never read the comments. I remember one time they were interviewing Shaquille O'Neal, who, he's just amazing, right? If you watch NBA on TNT, Inside the NBA, now he's on podcasts, he's getting interviewed, he's doing all kinds of charitable acts, right? He talks about that. He's like, no, you can never, ever, ever read the comments. Don't read the comments. Now think about these people. They have been validated in every way that you can possibly be validated. They have won at the highest level. They have all the money in the world. Everybody knows who they are. They are super famous. They're super successful. They have proved that they're at the pinnacle of whatever career they're in, whether it's acting, whether it's sports, whether it's business, whether it's entertainment, whatever it is. And even for them, the advice is don't listen to other people, don't read what other people are writing about you, right? Don't take advice from people, don't get people's opinions, because everybody's mind, no matter how big and successful you are, is so fragile that it's better just to not listen to it at all. Don't address it at all. And that's what the millionaires and billionaires are saying. That's what the most successful people are saying. Yet, what do some of us do? As soon as we hear something or we see something new, we go say, hey, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then we want to go read everybody else's opinion on Primerica or us starting a business, and we want to hear people talk us out of it. The best of the best in the world are saying, don't do this. I was thinking about something else. You guys know, there's so many cliches, but I actually try to think about the meaning behind cliches. I really think about it. And this morning, the one I was thinking about as I was thinking about this talk that I'm doing right now is rising above the crowd. Rising above the crowd. See, when you're in the comments, you are in the crowd. The whole point of being successful is to rise above the crowd, to rise above the masses, right? Because what's happening in the crowd, if you've ever been in a crowd, there's a lot of chatter, right? Because people are so close to you, and you can hear everything that everybody's saying. When you rise above the crowd, it's a different experience. You don't hear those things. You're thinking different things. You're doing different things. You're thinking bigger things. You have different goals. For a little while, I lived in this penthouse in Tyson's Corner, and it was a dream of mine to live in a place like that. I was on the 30th floor, and my apartment was all glass. There was no walls. And I could be sitting in my bathroom, and I could look out my window with floor-to-ceiling windows, and I could see the Washington Monument and the Capitol. And I'd always think, holy shit, this is unbelievable. Right? And the reason why I wanted to live there was because there was a time where I used to visit my cousin who comes from a very wealthy family in the Bay Area. So that's outside of San Francisco in the suburbs. And they lived on top of a hill. So if you've ever been to California, there's the bottom and then there's the hills. And if you live in the hills, these are $5 million plus homes. And I remember I walked into their home for the first time, and even driving up there, you notice something. Obviously, there's a view, and you can see, it's just crazy that people live in places like this, right? It's very aspirational. But one thing I noticed was, John, you don't hear ambulances anymore. You don't hear sirens. You don't hear the normal things that you hear when you're on ground level. It's just it's quiet. it's serene. There's a certain energy that you get from it, right? And it's the same thing. You got to rise above the crowd. It's not about being above people. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being above the crowd, above the chatter, above the baseless criticisms that people have, right? Above the critiques, above all of that, so you can think clearly and accomplish what you want to accomplish. Because everyone else's agenda is not your agenda. Your agenda is to move forward, do better for your life, do better for your situation. That's not everybody else's agenda. And you cannot lend people your ear and take in what other people's opinions are. We got to rise above that. We got to not read the comments. We have to protect our people from the comments. You know, it doesn't matter, and it's not just Primerica. Anything you do in life, people are going to try to talk you out of it. And that's a whole nother training. If it's a psychology lesson in terms of why are the crabs pulling each other down so no one gets out of the bucket, right? That's a whole different thing. But we got to rise above that, man. We have an amazing opportunity. We can't let other people bring us down. So I have if you can bring me that list right there, Alex, I'm going to go over, just bring the whole thing. I'm going to go over the order of our speakers. And, I always like to remind people that the way that Primerica works, this is not, the best speakers. It's not the most entertaining speakers. It's not.
Most of those are yours.
This is Shaq's or yours? This is Shaq's. It's hot water. It's weird. He drinks hot water. It's literally hot water. But I know it's healthy. All right, so we have, first we're going to have Ray and Rosalind come up, who got district leader promotion, so you'll come up one at a time. You'll have a timer here. Then we have Alexis, who had a great month, Meacham, who had a great month and backed it up from last month, which is awesome. Then we'll have Rod, then we'll have Bao, then we'll have Jen, then we'll have Peter and Tia, and then we're going to finish with Sheila, and then I'm going to do something at the end. So first we'll have Ray come up, district leader promotion. I want to say something about Ray, okay? So Ray, in his second training, he came up to me and he was like, I was wondering, can you help me with a few things? Can I call you? Can you, I forgot exactly what you said, but I remember this, that this happens a lot. Just because I'm not special, I'm just in front of the room, so people see me and they're like, oh, let me go ask that guy. And that happens all the time. Now, I had never seen him before. And what I told him was like, if you want help from me, because you're not on my team, I'm willing to help anyone, whether you're on my team or not. But here's what I'm challenging you to do. Show up and then actually hit the board. Because when you hit the board, that shows me that you're working. Now you actually deserve my time, because my time is spread thin. You can see how many people are here and how many people are not here. Everybody wants time. And everyone that I've ever challenged to do that, no one ever does it, and you actually did it, and you always show up, and you got licensed, and you're producing, and now you got promoted, and I'm proud of you, man, because there's only a few people who do that.